Hello and welcome back to the British Accent Podcast. I'm Robert, and I'm really glad you're here. If you're someone who's trying to improve your life, whether it's your health, your mindset, your productivity, or even just your daily routine, then this episode is for you. Today, we're talking about something that might seem small but can have a huge impact over time: habits. Not the big, dramatic changes you see in movies, but the quiet, tiny decisions you make every day without even thinking. We'll dive into how those small habits shape who you become, how you can build better ones, and how to break the ones that hold you back. It's going to be practical, eye-opening, and hopefully, inspiring too. So grab your tea or coffee, and let's get into it. You know, when we talk about making a big change in life, whether it's getting in shape, learning a new skill, or improving your focus, most people imagine huge effort, dramatic routines, or complete lifestyle shifts. But the truth is, real change often begins with something much smaller. Something almost invisible. Small habits are the tiny actions we do every day without thinking much about them. Things like brushing your teeth, checking your phone first thing in the morning, drinking a glass of water after waking up, these all count. They're not big. They don't take much time, but over weeks and months, they shape the way we live. Think of them like seeds. A single seed doesn't look like much. But under the right conditions, it grows. Slowly. Silently. But steadily. And before you know it, it becomes a strong tree. The same goes for habits. If you read just one page of a book every day, you may not feel like you're doing much. But in a year, you've finished several books. If you walk 10 minutes each morning, it might seem small, but over time, that's hours of movement and a healthier heart. What's amazing is that these habits don't just affect what we do, they affect who we are. Every time you repeat a small habit, you're reinforcing a belief about yourself: I'm a reader, I'm active, I take care of myself. So in this episode, we're going to explore how small habits work, how they shape us, and how we can use them to build a better version of ourselves, one simple step at a time. One of the most powerful things about small habits is something called the compound effect. It's a simple but life-changing idea: small actions, when repeated consistently over time, don't just add up, they multiply. Imagine two people. One decides to cut 100 calories from their daily diet, just one sugary drink, for example. The other adds an extra 100 calories, maybe a snack before bed. After a week, there's barely any difference. But after a year, one of them might lose several kilograms without ever setting foot in a gym, while the other might gain that much or more, just from that one tiny daily decision. The same goes for positive actions. Let's say you start writing for just 5 minutes a day. It doesn't feel like much. But after a month, you've written more than 2 hours. After a year, you've created the foundation for a full book. This is the secret most people miss. We look for overnight success, the dramatic makeover, the viral moment, the instant transformation. But real success, real growth, it's almost boring. It's invisible. It's those small things we do when no one is watching, and we do them again and again. It's not about motivation. It's about momentum. And momentum is built slowly, like a snowball. One push, then another, and another, until suddenly it's rolling fast and strong. So, if you've ever felt discouraged because your efforts didn't bring instant results, don't stop. That's the compound effect at work. Keep going. The magic is happening, even if you can't see it yet. So, how do we actually build small habits that last? Not just for a few days or a New Year's resolution, but for life? First, start ridiculously small. If your goal is to read more, don't aim for 30 pages a night. Start with 1 paragraph. If you want to get fitter, don't plan a 1-hour workout. Just do 5 push-ups. That's it. Make it so easy, you can't say no. Second, tie it to something you already do. This is called habit stacking. For example, after I brush my teeth, I'll stretch for 1 minute. After I drink my morning coffee, I'll write one sentence in my journal. Linking your habit to an existing routine makes it easier to remember and more automatic. Third, make it visible. Use a calendar and check off each day you do the habit. Seeing your streak grow is motivating. It gives you that little dopamine hit that keeps you going. And when you miss a day, don't panic. Just never miss 2 days in a row. That's the golden rule. Fourth, celebrate your success, even the small ones. Say yes out loud. Smile. Tell someone. You're training your brain to associate this action with a positive feeling. That's powerful. Finally, be patient. Real change isn't loud. It's quiet. And it takes time. But if you trust the process, if you stick with it, those small habits will become who you are. Some habits don't just change your routine, they change your mindset. They shape the way you see the world and yourself. And these are often the most powerful ones of all. Take journaling, for example. Spending just a few minutes a day writing down your thoughts can help you process your emotions, reduce anxiety, and spot patterns in your behavior. Over time, you become more self-aware, and that awareness is a superpower. Or consider gratitude. Writing down 3 things you're thankful for every night might seem small, but it trains your brain to notice the good instead of always scanning for what's wrong. It shifts your focus from lack to abundance. And that's transformative. Then there's the habit of asking questions, not just accepting things as they are. Why do I react this way? What can I learn from this mistake? What if I tried it a different way? This kind of thinking rewires your brain for growth. Even deep breathing, just 1 or 2 mindful breaths during a stressful moment, can break the loop of panic and help you respond instead of react. It's tiny. But it can change everything. The truth is, your mind becomes what you feed it. So when you build habits that feed curiosity, reflection, and calm, you're not just improving your day. You're changing your inner world. We often think of habits as actions, brushing your teeth, exercising, drinking water. But underneath those actions is something deeper, identity. Every time you follow through on a small habit, you're casting a vote for the kind of person you believe you are. When you write every day, you're not just writing, you're becoming a writer. When you show up to the gym, you're not just working out, you're building the identity of someone who cares for their body. It's easy to overlook this, but it's powerful. Habits aren't just things we do. They're evidence of who we are becoming, and that's why small habits matter so much. You don't need a grand transformation overnight. You just need consistent proof, to yourself, that you are the kind of person who shows up. Who grows. Who keeps promises. Think about it, if you meditate for 1 minute, you're no longer someone who wants to meditate, you're someone who meditates. That's a shift in identity. And identity is what drives long-term change. So instead of focusing only on results, ask yourself, what kind of person am I building with this habit? Because when your habits and your identity align, that's when real transformation happens. If you want to make a habit stick, don't just rely on motivation, design your environment to support it. Your surroundings shape your behavior more than you think. If your phone is the first thing you see in the morning, you'll probably scroll before you even get out of bed. But if a book is sitting on your pillow, you might read a few pages before sleeping. Small changes like that make a big difference. Let's say you want to drink more water, place a bottle where you work. Want to eat healthier? Keep fruits on the counter instead of snacks. Want to work out regularly? Lay your workout clothes out the night before. The goal is to make the good habits easy to start, and the bad habits harder to fall into. It's not about willpower. It's about making the right choice the default choice. And this works the other way too. If you want to break a habit, make it harder to access. Delete the app. Hide the remote. Put your phone in another room while you work. Habits thrive when they have a home, a clear, easy path to follow. Your environment can be that path. So take a moment today and look around. Ask yourself, does my space support the person I want to become? If not, you can start shifting it, one small adjustment at a time.
Cinema Talks?
All right, it's time for our favorite movie moment, Cinema Talks. Since our main topic today is all about the power of small habits and how tiny changes can lead to massive transformation, I picked a movie that shows that beautifully, Julie and Julia. It's based on two true stories, one of a young woman named Julie who decides to cook all 524 recipes from Julia Child's cookbook in just 1 year, and the other of Julia Child herself discovering her passion for cooking later in life. What I loved is how both women grew through tiny, daily actions. Julie didn't become a chef overnight, but by showing up to her kitchen every day, she built confidence, skills, and even a new life direction. It's a perfect example of how consistent habits, no matter how small, can snowball into something meaningful. Plus, it's a feel-good film with a lot of charm.
Words of wisdom.
This week's quote comes from American author and philosopher Will Durant, who once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. It's simple, but incredibly powerful. We often think of excellence as something you achieve at the end of a long journey, a reward or an outcome. But this quote reminds us that it's actually in the everyday, in the things we do over and over, the choices we make without thinking. Whether you're trying to improve your health, your skills, or even your relationships, the small habits you build daily are what shape your future. Consistency is more important than intensity. You don't have to do something huge every day. Just something. And if you keep showing up, even imperfectly, that's where the real growth happens. So ask yourself today, what's one small habit I can start, or reinforce, that will move me toward the person I want to become? Because in the end, we are what we do. Over and over again. Let's carry that with us this week.
Curious Minds. The Science Corner.
In today's Science Corner, let's talk about a concept that's closely tied to our main topic, small habits, and that's something called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to change and adapt throughout your life. It used to be believed that once we hit adulthood, our brains were pretty much fixed, but now we know that's not true at all. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on your experiences, thoughts, and yes, your habits. When you repeat a behavior over and over, your brain forms a neural pathway to make it easier and more automatic. It's like carving a path in the forest. The more you walk it, the clearer and faster it becomes. This is why small habits matter so much. They're not just actions, they're shaping the actual structure of your brain. Every time you choose to read a page, stretch for a few minutes, or say something kind, you're reinforcing a pattern that becomes a part of you. And the great news? Neuroplasticity works both ways. If you have unhelpful habits or thought patterns, your brain can unlearn them too. It just needs consistency and patience. So when it feels like change is slow or difficult, remember, your brain is listening. And with each small step, you're literally transforming yourself from the inside out. And that wraps up this week's episode. Before we go, I just want to mention that we're skipping the listener questions this time because last episode, the one on self-development, was packed with ideas, and we didn't receive any direct follow-up questions. But if you haven't listened to it yet, I really encourage you to go back and check it out. Remember, we always love hearing from you, your stories, your thoughts, your questions. They're what keep this podcast alive and real. If today's episode made you think about one small habit you'd like to start, let us know. You can message us or leave a comment, maybe we'll share your habit journey in the next episode. As always, take care of yourselves, be kind to your mind, and we'll see you next time.